Have you ever wondered what the buzzword is about detox, about what environmental toxins are available, what's in your food, what's in your household cleaners? Then this is the video for you. This is Dr. Jason West coming at you with 101 years of healing, and we're going to talk about toxins and how to detox. Environmental toxins. Now, everything that you eat, you drink, you touch, you smell, becomes a part of your system. You're either breaking it down and using it for energy, you're using it for building blocks, or what you're trying to do is to figure out how to get it out of your system. And you can do that through the breath, through the skins, through the lungs. And if you don't have healthy detox mechanisms, you can get allergies from toxicities, you can be sensitive to perfumes, to colognes, cleaners, and soaps. And is your environment safe for your kids? Well, detox is an underused or overused word depending on who you're talking to. And companies are making tons of detox products. Symptoms of toxicity include fatigue, weight management, food cravings, body odor, skin rashes, autoimmune conditions, and detoxing helps alleviate the symptoms and may potentially avoid autoimmune problems, can improve allergies, hormone imbalances, fertility, stomach problems like IBS, leaky gut, and malabsorption. Now, to detox is necessary to support the organs like the liver, the kidneys, the skin, and the lymphatic tissue. And although it's true that the word and the concept of detox are misunderstood and overused, detox is still a vital and important part of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The good news is that our bodies are naturally built to flush out toxins so that those crazy lemon maple syrup diets or the 5-day juice cleanses are often unnecessary and sometimes misguided. All of our bodies really need is a boost from time to time to keep us feeling our absolute best. Now, there are certain conditions which need more intensive or long-term detox. So what is a detox and why is it important? The reality is that as healthy as many of us like to be, we are consistently surrounded by toxins in many aspects of our everyday lives, from airborne toxins to chemicals in our body and makeup products to pesticides in our foods. It's exceptionally difficult in this day and age to avoid all forms of harmful substances. So what we do is we do our best to avoid those problems and to get those chemicals and toxins out of our system. It's difficult this day and age to avoid all forms of harmful substances. On top of that, even when we do try and maintain a healthy, balanced lifestyle, it's unrealistic to expect that we'll be perfect 100% of the time. Whether it's indulging in a few drinks, enjoying a not so healthy meal out, or taking a few days off from working out, our bodies definitely need a little jolt from time to time in order to successfully clear toxins from our bodies. And this video is for you. And after watching the video, the value you should understand is to identify common household toxins, what common food toxins are, and how to safely detox. Now, a couple of the things that are really important. Number one is pesticides. Pesticides are used to raise and treat produce and other products, and these poisons are often left behind in the vegetables and they leave behind residues. And they've been linked from everything to cancer, to birth defects, and so the solution for that is organic foods are required to be synthetic and pesticide free. And number two thing to avoid is butylated hydroxyanisole or butylated hydroxytoluene. These common processed food preservatives have been declared carcinogens or cancer-causing by the International Agency for the Research of Cancer. And they're also accused of disrupting hormones and impacting male fertility. And you have so many clinical conditions associated with adrenal hormone, with thyroid hormone, with pituitary hormone, and BHT and BHA can be a huge factor in that. Now, the solution of those is to read labels and whenever possible to avoid those. Another thing to avoid is something called recombinant bovine growth hormone, which is a big mouthful, but it's given to cows to increase milk production. And RGBH produces elevated levels of an insulin growth factor 1 in dairy products. Now, IG1 is a significant factor in breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancers. Now, the solution to that is to choose organic or RBGH-free dairy products. Number 4, something to avoid, is sodium aluminum sulfate and potassium aluminum sulfate. Now, these are used in processed cheese products, some baked goods, microwave popcorn, and among other packaged goods. These ingredients are linked to adverse reproductive, neurologic, behavior, and developmental effects. So when possible, read the ingredients and avoid those. Another thing to avoid is something called BPA or bisphenol A. Now it's found in food and beverages and in the linings of products in cans and in soda pop cans. And this hormone mimicker is suspected of promoting breast and prostate cancer, reproductive and behavioral problems, obesity, and diabetes. Now the best solution for that is to avoid canned foods and whenever possible to choose fresh, dried, or frozen instead. Now we hear a lot about sodium nitrates and sodium nitrites. That's particularly in processed meats. They're used in deli foods. These preservatives are linked to many types of cancer, and so beware of uncured and no added nitrate products. They often use celery juice instead, which is high in nitrates. So read the ingredient list and be really careful with that. Now, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These are carcinogens are created when fat is burned by flames or very high heat. And that's really important when you're barbecuing or you're grilling. You don't want all of the black stuff on your chicken or your meat whenever possible. It also has something called heterocyclic amines. These carcinogens form when natural substances found in meats and fish react in high temperatures or when you are actually burn your meat. So don't burn the meat. And the solution is to pre-cook your grillables and finish over low flame. Acrylamide is formed by cooking or frying starchy foods like potatoes and grains at high temperatures. And acrylamide is a carcinogen, so when possible, do not eat foods that come out of a high fat, high temperature fryer. So you want to avoid fried foods, snack chips, crackers, toasted cereals, cookies, and bread crusts. When possible, you want to avoid brominated vegetable oil because it's used in the fruit-flavored drinks and sodas. And animal studies found high doses of this toxin led to reproductive and behavioral problems. Artificial food coloring and dyes, these ubiquitous chemicals have been linked to neurologic disorders like ADD, ADHD, and when possible, if you'll avoid red dye and yellow dye, it really helps with any type of neurologic conditions, emotions, anxiety, depression, or cyclic mood disorders. Now, dioxins are highly toxic pollutants that accumulate in fatty foods and are linked to cancer, liver damage, birth defects, hormone system, and immune disruption. When possible, you want to avoid low-fat or non-fat foods. You want foods that have healthy fats in them. Now, genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are found in about 70% of the processed foods with corn, with soy, with cottonseed, canola, sugar beet-based ingredients, and GMOs may cause organs damage, gastrointestinal problems, immune disorders, accelerated aging, and infertility. So whenever possible, go organic. GMOs are not allowed in certain organic foods, and they aren't even labeled, so making them difficult to avoid in non-organic foods. So to summarize, here's what I'm trying to tell you to be healthy and to avoid environmental toxins. Number one, ditch plastic. When possible, you want to avoid preservatives because food preservatives are insecticides. We put them into foods so that bugs don't eat them, and we're just a bigger bug. And that same thing is for food preservatives. So you want to consume foods that help with your liver and your kidneys like green leafy vegetables, broccoli, garlic, onions. You want to drink lots of water. If you juice, make sure that it's fresh pressed raw juice. You want to use water filters for your home. Consider dry brushing the skin because it's really good for lymphatic flow. You want to exercise and move. And then for supplement considerations. Now, I like using a company called Nature's NX, and we use Filter Flush, we use CoQ10, we use ALA Supreme, and for information on those products and the products videos, you can go to www.naturesnx.com. Hey, we just covered environmental toxins and some ideas to detox safely. If you perceive value in the video, please like us, and if you click on the little bell, every time we send a video out, you'll get notified. This is Dr. West. We'll see you later.